today I've got another quick tutorial for some fun artist trading coins. These are a little bit different, and I was inspired to make these. There's a group that I'm in on Facebook, and the theme for July is play. And I was thinking about, do I use miniature playing cards or some... I've got a stamp with some chess pieces, I could do that. And I thought, no, let's make something that you can actually play with. And I thought about the little puzzles that as a child, I'm sure we've all seen them, where we have the little balls and you have to try and get them in the holes inside. And I thought that is perfect for an artist trading coin. It's round, it's, you know, they're not too thick, and that should be, I thought it should be really easy and fun to make. And to be fair, once I'd sort of worked out all the nitty gritty of it, it was a really easy make. So these are the three that I've entered into the swap in the group, and I'm just going to show you how I've made it. I'm going to make a fourth and just show you how really, quite with a bit of preparation, this is really simple to do. So I'll just move these out of the way. So to start with, I've got a fairly sturdy piece of card for my base. This is grey board. It's sort of cereal packet card, for want of a better description. It's thinner than mount board, but I need something that I can cut through with my cutting dies. And I've just been using these sort of thin nesting dies. And it cuts through this really well. If you can cut through something a little bit thicker, all well and good. If you're punching and you're sort of stuck punching a lighter weight card, you may need to build up some more layers. But this I find is a good good compromise. It's quite sturdy and it seems to sort of do the job quite well for me. So these are 2.5 inches diameter for those of you that are not familiar with artist trading coins. So first of all, I've cut my base, my stiff base. Obviously I need a design to be on the inside. So this is my design for the one that I'm going to do here. You can use some patterned papers, you could use, I don't know, digi-stamps, you could cut up an old greetings card. These actually are some Project Life cards that I picked up in a sale. And I've just been die cutting circles out of them. I like the images. It's a set, I think for boys. I think it's, I can't, let's see which one it is. Does it say? Boys Rule is the set that I've been using for these. And this is what's going to have the little holes in. Now I need there to be a reasonable depth because I want the little balls to stay in. So I've also cut a circle from just black card, just normal black card. And I'm going to glue those two together. And then when I punch the holes, I'm going to have enough depth that I know that the little balls are going to sit in there. So just using some glue. Just going to glue those two layers together. And I'm going to put 5 little balls in it, so I want to punch 5 holes. Now for this I'm using my crocodile. I'm just going to punch randomly 5 holes in there. If you don't have a crocodile, there are the little manual hole punches that you use with a hammer for making holes for your eyelets. But there's my 5 holes in there, and now I can glue this onto my base. So the next thing we need to do is to be able to build up the sides, because we need some depth for the little balls to roll around in. And for that, I've cut out lots of rings from my piece of grey board. And to do that, I used 2 dies together, and that's cut out my little frames. Now, depending on the thickness of your card, that will depend, and the size of the little beads or balls that you're using will depend how many layers you're going to need. I've found that sort of 7 or 8 of these is perfect for the size of bead that I'm using, but that will be a little bit of trial and error depending on what you're using and depending on the thickness of the card. And all that we do is we'll glue these together and stick them down onto our base. So I'm just going to continue to do this. So now that I've glued all my little rings around the edge, and I've got a deep enough side that the little balls I'm using are going to fit inside, I'm just going to pop in. I've got 5 holes, so I've got 5 little beads. Now these are just they're assorted size beads actually I had from Artful Days. They don't have a hole in them, so they're perfectly round. Now if you don't have anything like this, you could use a standard bead with a little hole drilled through, but check to see if it rolls, because some of them are a bit flattened where the holes are, and it might not roll around inside as well. These are perfect because they are perfectly round, as they don't have a hole drilled in them. So I've got my 5 beads in there, so we need to seal it up. And to do that, this is it's a piece of, it's actually packaging, sort of like from a blister pack. Now you could use some acetate if you've got some. It needs to be fairly stiff, but this I just cut from some packaging. I used my die. I went round the edge with a nail file because it was a little bit sharp because it's a bit more brittle than acetate, but you could use acetate if that's all that you do have. So that's going to be glued on top. And don't worry if any of the glue just sort of squeezes through a little bit. It dries clear and you won't see it once it's dry. And then just to tidy it off, I've cut a little frame in a piece of coloured cardstock that'll just hide that top edge and make it look a little bit neater. So essentially this is almost finished. I just want to neaten off this edge, and on my other ones that I've done, what I've done is I've just gone around the edge with some washi tape. I've got some narrow washi tape in a colour the same as that I've used on the top, and I'm just going to put that all the way around the edge just to finish it off, really, just to make it look a little bit neater. Now I found that this is sticking down quite well, but as washi tape isn't the stickiest of things, if you feel you want to pop a little bit of glue underneath as well, or maybe just under the ends where it overlaps, just to make it a bit more secure, then you can do. And there we have our little finished puzzle game, which is really difficult to try and look through the camera and do it at the same time. So I hope that you'll agree that that's a fun little project. Would actually make a really nice stocking filler. a little project to maybe do with the children. But yeah, these are going into a swap, and I'm going to keep one for myself. So as I said, quick and easy tutorial today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be back again soon with another video. So bye.